What's up guys, it's Eric here. Today I got another VOD review. This is actually one of my own games, but I mean, I feel like I have to VOD review this one because look at this lobby. Dish soap, socks, soulless, clear, milk, like, and then some other people who I've definitely seen around, like High Challenger. Usually, like, this lobby was absolutely stacked, and I got to try out a comp that I think is really, really strong in the current meta and is really, really underrated by most people. I think everyone's just saying you have to play Bilgewater, and this comp has an incredible matchup into Bilgewater. And like I said, it's so underplayed that I feel like you can just hit the units for free. We start off the game with, Oriana 2 potentially, but I'm a Sorks hater. I am not even going to look to hold this Oriana 2. I really want to hold potentially Noxus opener. Poppy for Demacia opener is good. The early game in TFT right now is pretty imbalanced. So I would say, you definitely sort of have to lean into like the more broken openers. Augment-wise, Latent Forge I'm almost always taking here is just too good. I look at the stats on the other augments, but yeah, I'm just going to take Latent Forge here. It's just the Aura items are so strong right now. There are a number of them that I feel like if you get them are auto top 4. Basically anything but Goldmancers, which I think is very bad. Mogul's Mail, which I think is good in the right scenarios, but in general is kind of bad. Like those are the only two that I like really hate. The rest like are really solid and stuff like Sniper's Focus, Zanya's, DFG. Am I forgetting any really broken stuff? The attacky one, Death's Defiance is what it's called. Yeah. I think all of those are giga broken. I'll pull up stats just to see if there's any that I'm missing. You see my opener though, not the best opener, right? I play this. Manazane as well. Manazane is actually the best one stats wise. And all the other ones that I said, Anima Visage, Infinity Force good as well. In any case, I get like kind of a mid opener here. It takes me a while to actually find any upgrades. I do end up finding this Renekton 2, and I have the Cassiopeia to pair with it to give it Shurima, which is really nice. So, this ends up being my opener. I decided to hold the Melio here, which makes a lot of sense, right? I can get Invoker, or yeah, I can get Invoker in here. We're also in Valar's Hollow, which means that we're going to need a component anvil here, and then we're going to need a support item later. I decided to just slam the Gunblade here. I think it's the most slammable item from this spot, and I'm already sort of thinking like, okay, I could lean towards maybe like an AP line like Azir, Silco. Though, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, that is not what we actually end up playing this game. But, I think that's a very good angle to lean into, so I end up just building the Gunblade. It's a very solid Silco item. It's not even the worst item on Azir, but I would prefer it on Silco. Items-wise, off Carousel here, once again, to just lean into that, I'm thinking of like an AP item here, either the Rod or the Bow, because you really need at least one Bow to play for Azir. I decided to just take the Bow here because I think like I could live with not finding another Rod, but I can't really live without finding a Bow. I also see Soraka pair in shop, and this Kiana, which I think is really cute. This is Electric Ixtal, and so with a frontline Hex, I'm going to solo frontline this Renekton, and the idea is that the enemy team's going to clump around him, he's going to ult and stun the entire enemy frontline. It's actually like a little, like a pretty cute idea here, like boom, he just stuns the entire frontline. It's actually very nice. And I also opt to just like not hold a lot of these units at this point, and then hold the Soraka pair because I'm thinking, okay, maybe it can actually be an Invoker's game, right? We have Gunblade Stand, which is the most important item, bar none, in Invokers. I actually hit Soraka 2 here, which is really confusing about how you're meant to play around it here. I'm not actually sure if what I did was correct. Curious to hear what you guys would do in this spot. What I end up doing is making Soraka 2 and then just replacing Cassiopeia with it. I don't really want to lose the Ixtal, but it was probably just play it over like Melio or Kiana or something. Because like now I don't have Shurima for the Renekton, which feels kind of bad. I don't know, it's so hard, but like the Ixtal is so good, like stunning the entire enemy front line. So I don't know, that was actually a really tough decision for me, and I'm still not 100% sure what the best way to play that is. I do get drop Galio here, so I can think about maybe like a 4 Invoker game plan. Like I think it's very straightforward. If I get one more Invoker, I can just play for 2 Bruiser 4 Invoker opener, which is not really like an opener that exists, but it's fine. I get dropped another Melio here, so now I have Melio 2, and I get dropped a Nico, who is a really good unit if you want to play for like the Invokers comp. You end up playing her as like your frontline with Bastions. Maybe I'll put out a video tomorrow about how to play that comp because I just played a game on it and actually went really well. But yeah, I'm going to aggro level here because I get the Cassiopeia back and I really want to protect my streak. This is another play that I'm not 100% sure if it was correct. I saw there was someone else's board here who was really strong. I mean, we do end up winning and protecting our streak, which is very important, but it does cut down my econ a lot. Otherwise here, 3's a crowd I'm not a fan of. Frequent Flyer I'm not a fan of. So I'm just going to reroll both of those. I do get dropped Healing Orbs here, which in general I think is a very strong augment, and in this spot I think is actually especially strong because we have this solo frontline Renekton. So the idea when you're playing solo frontline Renekton, or solo frontline anything with gargoyles in a comp like this, is that all the enemies are going to clump around Renekton, of course, and then if we get kills, the healing orbs are all going to go to Renekton and keep him alive even longer. And like you see his ult there, he heals up, then you get the healing orb procs, heals up, and like, look, this Renekton is just unkillable. I also swapped to the 4 Invoker version, just because I think that is going to be stronger. I liked the effect from Ixtal, but I don't think it's worth not playing 4 Invoker. Obsidian Cleaver is the most broken support item in the game, just stats-wise, and it's also really good in my spot. I have no shred whatsoever, so I think it makes perfect sense to take this here. I'm nowhere near like a static shiv or anything like that. I drop it on Renekton. I think this is correct because it's always going to be like in front of my carries and doing work. I guess the other option would be something like Melio, maybe? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I thought it was fine on Renekton there, but not 100% sure. So I get dropped this random Fiora. And I say, well, I mean, we have healing orbs. It could maybe be a challenger angle. If maybe this Fiora with cloak doesn't get taken, I can take that, and then all of a sudden I have Fiora pair. And wait a minute, it doesn't get taken, and now I have Fiora pair with BT. I'm going to check my item here, and I get dropped Zanya's Paradox, which is a really... I mean, all of these items are very solid. I thought for a while about this, but I think Zanya's is really good because now I'm thinking, okay, it's actually just a challenger's angle. I get Zanya's for my Kaisa and then BT for my Fiora, and like we're rocking and rolling. And then the Gargoyles is gonna go on a random frontliner. I don't know 100% at this point in my mind yet what the Black Cleaver is going on yet, but we figure it out. But yeah, as you can see, even like especially with the healing orbs, Zanya's does really well. Then we natural a Kaisa, and so now at this point I'm like, okay, we are almost committed, not necessarily 100% committed because we could play other stuff, but we are like almost just straight up committed into challengers. Also, as you can see, like I'm keeping my streak, which is wild. But I think Invoker Opener is actually really solid on this patch. I think it's overlooked by a lot of people because they're trying to play for Bilgewater stuff. But I played Invoker Opener a few times, and it's gone really, really well. This is actually a really close fight with them just deleting everything. We do have the Zanyas here though, and the healing orbs. And just look at this: Raka cast, heals herself up, and then kills the MF. Like, how broken is this healing orbs augment? Like, really? Like, it's actually so free. I see Neela here. I do say, like, okay, it could still very easily be like an Azir Silco game, which is what gets me into trouble here. I'm trying to flex between basically 3 options. Like, there's Neela as well that could fit into that comp. Like, I'm trying to flex between a lot of stuff. And so I level here and I start rolling down. I also get dropped a Mordekaiser and think, okay, maybe I could flex into Mordekaiser as well. I'm rolling here and really, ideally, I'm just looking for some challenger units. But I don't hit very many of them. I need, like, basically... Warwick for 4 Challenger, and then I need to find Demacia. It's usually Jarvan plus Quinn if I want to play the Challenger line. But, like, I'm getting so confused in this. Like, this... If there's anything that I messed up this game, it's absolutely this roll down, just because I get super dizzy, because there's so many options here. I don't really need more items at this point. I'm pretty happy with my items, so I'm just going to take Mana Burn here. But yeah, like I get dropped another Silco, I get dropped the Nasus, and now I'm going to start actually pivoting into the board so that I can have some more bench space, because I think that's a mistake I made as well, where I didn't actually pivot into the board, which made it harder for me to keep all this stuff on bench. Like, I need this bench space. I end up hitting both of these Challengers 2-starred, so I get both of them in, and, we have a decent board. You see also I end up putting Nashor's Tooth on Quinn. I think it's just better on her, because, like, your Kaisa doesn't really need the attack speed. I'd much prefer just go for, like, a real damage item on Kaisa. So yeah, like, as you can see, I've done all this rolling. I still haven't hit my Fiora too, which is really sad, honestly. Like, I was in a spot where I could have just, like, high rolled a little bit and then just randomly hit Fiora too. We move BT to the Fiora, of course, roll down a bit just because we're so close. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable to roll here. We're 1 off Fiora, 1 off Kaisa. And I'm trying to figure out where this Obsidian Cleaver goes. I think about putting it on Kaisa, because Kaisa is going to spread it to the entire enemy team, but I opt for Quinn. She's also going to spread it to the entire team. As long as I put her behind Fiora, she's going to hit a lot of units. I think it's actually meant to be here on the Quinn, though this is my first time taking Cleaver in this comp. Items-wise, I see that there's actually a 1-cost chain, which I'm really happy with because Titans is really, really good on Fiora, so I'm very happy to pick that up. And then ideally this last bow becomes, like, I don't know, GS Kaisa or something. But yeah, we have to keep rolling on 7 here because we need to find Fiora. We basically found our entire board. This is the standard board, and then we find Fiora, which we're really happy with. because I have 2 pairs, I decide to roll a little bit deeper there, and I think those last couple of rolls are probably a little bit overroll. I think once I find Quinn 2, I'm done rolling, and I should just try to push levels, because I only have 1 pair at this point. But now that we have Fiora 2, you're going to see this comp start to go off. Look what this Fiora can do. Just boom, 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 boom. Also, can I put game audio on now that I think about it? Oh, I think I can. I wonder if like I randomly say anything during the game and my mic picks it up. But I can actually turn game audio on. There you go. But yeah, just look at how unkillable this Fiora is. It's not only just because she's a very, very solid unit with 4 Challenger and Demacia, but it's also because of Healing Orbs. Healing Orbs goes crazy in this comp. And then the Shroud is also very, very solid in this comp. Just to buy time, because this is a very, very bursty comp. But like, look at this Fiora, just with the Healing Orbs and her ult and the VT. She's just healing to full every single fight. And then the Zanya is also a really good synergy with the Healing Orbs. Also, like I said, normally the Sona would be a Jarvan, but Jarvan is such a highly contested unit that it's quite hard to find him. So we end up having to just play around Sona this game, but it's fine. But yeah, this is the board if you haven't ever actually played around Challengers before, because you really, really want to get in Demacia. I need to roll a bit here, but I find Kaisa pretty quickly. I also could drop the possibility of making JG, which I think I have to snap on. Like, it's got to be Kaisa's best item here. And then last item is just RFC for Quinn, just to get her to proc. Just to auto more, ult faster. It's basically like all mana items on her. But yeah, like, as you can see, just if this Fiora gets an ult off, she basically heals to full every time. And then she's allowed to stack Titans, which is going to make her tanky enough to survive a lot of the Bilgewater boards. If you scout the rest of this lobby, which I did a few times, you would see that, like, basically the entire lobby is Bilgewater. I think there were, like, 6 Bilgewater players in the lobby, and then, like, 1 Azir player. Like, look, scout, Bilgewater, 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 Bilgewater. Like almost every single board I'm fighting this game is Bilgewater, which makes sense. The comp is broken. But this comp does so well into it. As you can see, like, my front line gets one-shot a little, but then Fiora casts, heals back up to full. And the big thing is that she also drops aggro and goes invulnerable when casting, which means Bilgewater units, she's dodging all of that damage from Bilgewater. I think about maybe getting, like, Silco in here, but, like, I'm pretty sure it's garbage. I think we're just going to go to level 8 next round and find something to put in. That's the only slightly strange thing about this comp, is that your level 8 is pretty unclear usually. There's just not anything obvious to add here on 8. There's no good unit. You can add like a 5 cost. But like, look, if I clears 7 Bilgewater board here, I don't remember where this fight goes, but I'm pretty sure I win it. Like, this is a 7 Bilgewater board. He had like Bilgewater spat there. He had Neela itemized. And we just completely destroy it. Like, the fight's not even close. Like, I don't know. This board's insane. The other nice thing is that because Challengers is so underplayed, no one's going to take this Challenger spat. Like, obviously not. So everyone just passes it by. I could have taken a QSS, but instead I'm able to get Challenger spat, and I can play for 6 Challengers my next level. So that happens, I think, a decent amount of the time. You can get like a Challenger spat, sometimes like a Jug spat to play on the next level. I roll a little bit here, and I'm just trying to make sure that I don't skip one of the 1-cost Challengers, because it's so hard to look for 1-cost units here. And I do end up finding the Irelia. And I have to Challenger Sona. I think ideally it would be Quinn, but he's full out of items, so I can just Challenger the Sona. The nice thing is this allows me to move it like late game if I want to make like a Challenger Heimerdinger or something like that. But yeah, just like, I don't know, look how easy the fights are. I'm on a 7 streak since I hit this board. And now I have Nasus too, and like, I mean, we're easily top 4, and the question is like, how high of a placement can we go for this game? But yeah, I really want to share this comp with you guys, because I think it's something like so many people are like, you have to play Bilgewater, or, you know, like, your game is over. And I think this comp not only is just not Bilgewater, the only unit that it might share is Nasus if they're, you know, like, playing the Juggernaut version. But like, you know, it doesn't share any other units with Bilgewater. And it, as you can see, does so well into Bilgewater just because of the way Fiora works. And I'm feeling a little bit bad that I sold Kaisa there, because I get dropped Kaisa and Fiora, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could have played for Kaisa 3, but I don't know. Like, I guess if I held that Kaisa, and this is not the same Kaisa, then I would have like 2 Kaisas, or, you know, like 5 Kaisas, and maybe I could play for it. I do end up opting to just hold both of them here. And I think about actually using the duplicator there, just to make a new one. I think Declaw here works perfectly on the Nasus. There's a lot of AP. I do end up actually starting to spread my board out a little bit, but I don't think this is actually that good. I think this positioning is actually not that bad. Am I a genius? But something like this is actually not amazing. It's fine, actually, because like, Fiora is going to dodge these MF ults because she is not in the middle 3 hexes. I think that positioning is actually kind of nice. But yeah, once again, we fight another Bilgewater board. Sox just, you know, forcing Bilgewater from the spot, and he gets to a top 4 for sure. But it's an easy win for us just farming all of these boards. So yeah, like, It's crazy. The only board that I should be really scared of in this game, I think, at this point is Dish Soap. He's Giga Streaking. He's playing the Scoped Weapons Mordekaiser board. I managed to dodge the Zephyr here, and I get to send Fiora to backline. She gets really, really low for a second, but then healing orbs plus her ult plus BT, it's just not even close, man. He cannot kill her whatsoever. Kaina in my, Kaina... Oh, heck. Oh, did I I think I opened up this. I opened up. Yeah, that's what that was. I was like, where do I hear it? I'm like, I opened up Dish Soap stream afterwards to see if it was molding about that fight. The middle shroud also very, very solid versus a lot of these boards, right? It's like versus Milk here, it's hitting like all of his priority units. This is, I think, the first fight that I actually lose. And I'm like, wait, Milk's board's actually quite scary. Maybe there's a chance that we're not like winning out in this lobby. Our goal looks really good for Nasus, but I'm also really down for this redemption because of how much AoE there is in, this lobby. It's going to be like the GP, the MF, all of that stuff. I'm going to opt to level here and try to get a 5 cost to put in. And I find GP, and I actually like GP a lot here because of his ability that, CC reduces, he gives all of your units a QSS when they're, like, hit in the same AoE as the boat. I feel like that's going to be really nice against stuff like Jarvan. The only problem is that because my front line gets so deleted, it's actually kind of hard for him to proc, as you can see in this fight. It's like almost close for a second, but then Kaisa cast plus Fiora cast. GG's, we win the fight. Find a Jarvan that we can fit in, and now it's just us and Milk. Yeah, I have to stream up again. I totally forgot about that. But I go and pause that there for you guys. But yeah, I don't know. I really like this middle shroud here. Hitting the Jarvan, I think, is really, really nice. Just so that he doesn't get the insta-cast, though it's not like GP is going to get a cast off, but like, boom, that ult there. I mean, if Fiora had lived, would be really nice for Fiora giving her CC immunity, especially versus a board like this. So that's the idea behind GP. Maybe you could make the argument that it's supposed to be something else. I don't know. I thought about Heimer, but like, I don't really need Heimer because I already have the Black Cleaver, so like I'm already treading armor and MR. The healing reduction is probably pretty nice though, so I don't know. Maybe it was supposed to be Heimer. It's kind of hard actually. But yeah, I just decided to roll down here, trying to find replacement Quinn, actually, so that I can remake. And I do actually find the replacement Quinn. I just really want GP to be able to cast quickly. Holy fuck. You know what I just realized in this fight, by the way? I did not realize it whatsoever, but I gave, I did not actually realize this happened in this fight, but I accidentally gave Quinn my Radiant item because I was trying to get all these synergies in at the last second. That's actually hilarious, but I end up winning anyway. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I mean, obviously, I would have got it fixed next round, but it's a Radiant Declaw Quinn diff. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, well, that's why we review our own games, I guess. But yeah, it's a first for me. The Kaisa just cleans everything up. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to show you guys a comp that I think is really, really solid on the current patch and is a counter to all the really disgusting Bilgewater stuff that I'm sure you guys are annoyed with. So play this comp in your games, tell me how it goes, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.